Mr. Charest, it's always good to see you. A shock for a lot of Canadians here to see what Trump is doing, continues to do. What's your take on what it's going to mean for Canada?
Well, there's two parts to it. Our relationship with the United States, of course, which is pretty much central to our whole economy. And yesterday there was sort of a sigh of relief, almost, it's almost as though we suffer from the Stockholm syndrome, given everything we've had to deal with in the last few weeks and months. So we're not on the list of Mr. Trump's tariffs for the world, but nonetheless, whether it's aluminum, whether it's steel, and we're the most important providers of aluminum and steel of Americans. I mean, we're the #1 provider overall. And then you also have tariffs on potash, which doesn't make a lot of sense for Americans at 10%, and tariffs of 10% on energy. And then, of course, automotive. Automotive is really the backbone of the industrial relationship between the United States and Canada, and a 25% tariff, from which will be subtracted American content, which means it'll bring it down. I think Prime Minister Carney's response is strategic. It's well targeted, and it sends a message that we are going to fight back. And I think, Todd, one positive thing about this is reference to CUSMA, which is our trade agreement, the one that President Trump himself negotiated in 2018, is going to be maintained. I actually crossed paths with Secretary Lutnick this morning in some studios here in Washington, TV studios, and he spontaneously refers to the fact that CUSMA is maintained. So obviously that's front and center in the mind of Americans as regards to the future of our relationship with them.
What do you think it's going to mean potentially, Mr. Charest, for the Canadian economy if this gets bad? I mean, Mark Carney seemed to be indicating in a press conference he held earlier that this could bring a lot of pain for Canadians, and we need to brace ourselves.
Todd, we are in a world of only bad choices, and all of this wasn't necessary. All of this could have been avoided. It wasn't, we did not ask for this fight. So now Canada is faced with bad choices, and the Prime Minister, I think, is trying to do the best he can to avoid Canadians having to bear the brunt. But at the end of the day, tariffs hurt us. We retaliate. That will hurt our American neighbor, but also hurt us. We know that. We're all very conscious of that. And hopefully it sends a message and will install a sense of urgency in regards to how we need to resolve these issues. We are one of the principal economic partners of the United States. I mean, we're not just another country on the list, frankly. And so there is going to be a cost. The probabilities of the American economy going into a recession are high. The markets are speaking to that today. I mean, it's pretty clear. They do not like what was announced yesterday, and it's going to have a cost. And if the Americans go into a recession, so will Canada. But more than that, it is so encompassing what President Trump announced yesterday. It's about the whole world literally going into a recession. None of it is good for anyone, and hopefully it will bring us to a point where we can sit down with our American neighbor and work out agreements that speak to what their priorities are. We understand that, we get that, and also allow all of us to have a good, healthy relationship based on economic growth.
Jean Charest joining us from Washington, D.C. He is part of Prime Minister Mark Carney's Council on Canada-U.S. Relations, former Deputy Prime Minister of Canada, and, of course, former longtime Premier of Quebec. It's always great to see you, Mr. Charest. Thanks for doing this for us at CTV today.